Part 3. Action!
So William, I'm interested to see your invention and design process. So could you give us an example for the head starters? Tell us your detailed action steps of how you took the idea to build a windmill from nothing but scrap metals.
So for me, starting with Apple, making I started with when I was starting, I just know what I wanted to do. Some people, it might be useful to write down step by step how you're gonna be able to do it. That would be very useful. I did a little bit. I didn't do sort of sketching, writing step by step. I just kind of knew work as I go, because the reason why I did that, because I didn't have specific materials that I needed to use for my windmill, so I could use whatever I could find. Sometimes I'll change the design because I couldn't find one part. I think that was the reason why I couldn't had complete a sketch of my plan from starting up to the end, because I had to change something in between. So one thing that I can say, it's whenever you are either you sketch something, you are making a project, always don't be afraid of changing something, because sometimes it's not always what we have in mind that's exactly the way it's gonna work, but sometimes you can improvise on what you have, and having a prototype also helps a lot. I made a first a prototype windmill, very small, using just a simple thing just to see the concept, how it is working, and you can make it bigger. From there you can be able to make a final project. And always try to ask some questions, and trying to know, getting every project that you are trying to do, either you gonna be using it by yourself, or you are designing for somebody else who's gonna be used. You try to put yourself into their shoes if you're designing for other people, being how exactly this how can I, if I'm them, how can I be able to use this? Or sometimes, because you can be able to know exactly what you are trying to do, so you might be able to know how you can be able to use what you are trying to do. But other people, they are not have the same mindset or the same mindset as you, so you always try to put yourself into their mindset. So for me, in short, I'll say start with the sketching and the putting up, making a prototype. That's how I was able to make a prototype and change things along the way, and don't be afraid of changing design to fit what you have and what you can be able to find.
Oh. How long did it take you to make the first prototype?
The first prototype it didn't took me longer time. I think the prototype took me about 2 weeks, but to make the first windmill, the one that was working, it was about 3 months.
Wow. And it was unpaid labor.
Yeah.
Sure. Wow. And you did it obviously because you had this burning desire to help your community and your family.
Yeah, I was just doing it to solve the problem that we were facing.
Wow. William, you are so inspiring. William, what are your best productivity hacks, and how do you optimize your time to make the biggest impact?
For me, to make the biggest impact, it's most of the time try to share my skills, my ideas with other people. because I'm not gonna be um, making everything by myself, but trying to be getting like all like other like either it's like younger people involved in some of the projects that I'm doing to be able like to take part of it. That way I can reach out like a lot of people in in a short time of period rather than being only me like going around trying to do everything by myself. That's um, for me, I feel like that's not like the best approach, but the best approach is like sharing my knowledge with other people.
And I know that you encourage young people to sweat the small stuff. What do you mean by this?
It's like just like starting with like small anything. It's not like small at all. Like I think you can't tackle like a big challenge all at once. Just starting with like small next time you're gonna be somewhere else. If anyone is taking like somebody's doing something, another person's doing something, at the end of the day the impact that you're gonna have, it's gonna be very huge. So instead of like saying like, oh, like this, like I'm sweating this just like small like sweat, it's not really gonna have like impact, but in a long term it's gonna have like great like impact. Yeah.
So, William, you mentioned this earlier, but could you tell us maybe more? What are some of the skills that people need to be a great inventor?
I think some of the skills that people have like to be like a great like inventor. There's like skills that you can be just like you have like to also like listening into other people, or like don't be really like shy, or being always like not really doubting on what you are trying like to trying to do, or don't be afraid of like failing. That if you want to be like a greatest like inventor, those type of like skills, some of the skills, they are not directly related to what you are trying to build. Like some people say like, oh, you have to be a good like scientist to be like a great inventor, but there's also, apart from having that, there's also like some other thing that you have like to have that will help you. Because if you are not really like shy taking action, or trying to shy or afraid of like being like a failure, then you can invent something that people might, at the beginning they might think like it's impossible, but it will be like possible at the end of the day.
Hey Head Starter, I really hope you took something valuable from that episode. Check out my other episodes where I interview other successful and inspiring young people in the world. I'll see you next time. Unless you don't subscribe. Oh, subscribe. Subscribe.